Most people just book their Disney World trip and they head to whatever park sounds fun that day, or worse, they choose it based on whichever bus shows up first. But doing this can lead to really long waits and big crowds that maybe could have been avoided. According to our research, there is a bit of a science to choosing the best park for each day of your trip. Today, I'm breaking down the best and worst days to visit each of the Disney World parks so that you can spend less time in line and more time eating Dole Whips. Plus, I'm unveiling a new tool to help you pick the best parks for each day of your trip. Hi, I'm Shannon from WDW and I am here today to talk to you about Disney World planning, my favorite topic, which is why I created a business called WDW Prep School. And today's topic is about how to pick the parks to go to each day of your trip because there is a science to it. I have seen some opinions out there that's like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. But our research shows that it does. So we have taken both anecdotal experience, our own experience, 20 years on the parks, as well as data. We've collected so much data, basically wait times, and some of the parks just get higher on certain days of the week. And so I think that information is helpful to pass on to you so that for your trip dates, you can pick the best parks and eliminate waits as much as possible. If you're going during busy times of the year, then all the parks are going to be busy, probably, but some more than others. Conversely, if you're going during a less crowded time of year, let's say September, then maybe it matters less, but likely some parks are still going to be busier than others. And so if you want to pick the best of your options, then I'm going to help you figure that out. I'm also going to show you a tool that we built to help you pick the dates for your trip. But before I do that, I want to explain to you the logic that we use to build the tool, and that will help you to figure out your trip plans. Let's start with Magic Kingdom, of course. It is the busiest of all of the Disney World theme parks. It has twice as many visitors as some of the other parks because sometimes people literally just go to Disney World and just go to Magic Kingdom. There is some really intense days here, and then there are some days that are actually quite good, relatively speaking. The worst day is often Monday. And that might be a little confusing. Why Monday? And it's because it is often the first day of people's vacations. And so the first place they want to go is the Castle Park. Let's go see it. It's the first day of our trip, but a lot of people do it. It also can be quite busy on Saturday and Wednesday. Saturday has the effect of the locals coming out because they're like, okay, we have, off work. So let's go use our Florida resident annual pass and head to Magic Kingdom on a Saturday. So the locals can affect the crowds on Saturday. And Wednesday, it's just some kind of weird midweek spike that often happens at Magic Kingdom. The best day to visit Magic Kingdom is on Sunday, and it seems kind of counterintuitive. We didn't used to think this was the case until we started really doing some analysis on this, but Sunday is consistently one of the lightest days for Magic Kingdom. Another good day for Magic Kingdom is if you are visiting during party season, which is mid-August through just before Christmas, then visiting Magic Kingdom on a party day is going to be a really good time to go because the park does close early, and a lot of people avoid it because it's a 6 p.m. closure instead of something like 9 o'clock. And that can be a huge win for you because the crowds are much lower. This is me while editing. I wanted to insert something because we get asked about it a lot. So I just mentioned in that last clip about going to Magic Kingdom on party days because it can make the daytime crowd so much more manageable. But I wanted to mention that this doesn't apply to very many other things. So people will ask us, what about after hours events? What about extended evening theme park hours? What about all this other stuff? And that doesn't really diminish the daytime crowds. The reason that the parties diminish the daytime crowds is because the park closes so early that it deters people who would prefer to stay a little longer, who want to see fireworks, etc. After hours events don't do that. Extended evening theme park hours don't do that. Jollywood Nights doesn't do that, etc. So this is pretty specific to Magic Kingdom and the Halloween and Christmas parties. Let's hop over to Epcot. And here, the biggest factor is going to be the festivals. So if you're going during times when there is no festival, this will not apply. But most of the time, there is a festival. And that means that the weekends are going to be busy, particularly later in the day, because the locals will flock here to go to the festivals because they want to eat and drink around the world or around the whole park. And it can make it very busy. If you're going on rides and you're not doing festival booths, sometimes you can kind of just navigate around them, but overall, the park is going to be busier. The best days to go to Epcot tend to be Wednesday and Thursday. I said Thursday. That's not even how I say that. Wednesday and Thursday. This midweek kind of sweet spot actually allows you to walk through the park a little bit more freely because you're, in the middle of the week between the locals coming in to have their drinks and eats. Another good option is Tuesday. So it's not quite as good as Wednesday and Thursday, but still a good option. It's generally safe if your schedule is tight, but just avoid the weekends, particularly later in the day if you're going to Epcot. Let's hop over to Hollywood Studios, where we have a few different worst days and a couple of good ones. The worst days at Hollywood Studios are Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. Hollywood Studios is a small park and it has a lot of headliner rides. So when it's busy, the wait times can really skyrocket because there's not enough filler things to go in between these kind of bigger rides to soak up the crowds. Them reintroducing the shows helps a lot because shows like Indiana Jones really do suck up a lot of people and give them a place to go. But in general, being a relatively small park can make it difficult with the crowds. The best days here are Wednesday and Thursday. It's your best chance to snag the lower wait times and go on those bigger rides with lower weights. If you have to go on a Sunday, be sure to go in the evening because the crowds often will thin out significantly after 4 o'clock as people will, especially locals, will start to prep for the work week and not want to hang out until park close. And last, of course, but not least, is Animal Kingdom. Right now, I think the crowds are really low because there isn't a ton going on over there. But in general, Saturday and Sunday are the busiest, but we kind of view Animal Kingdom as a flexible park. Like it's not going to be as busy as the other parks no matter what day you go on. So even if you have to go on a weekend, it's fine. It does get somewhat of a weekend bump from the locals and travelers who are kind of finishing up their trips, but you can still go on the weekend and it's probably going to be a lot less busy than the other parks. The best days overall for Animal Kingdom are Wednesday and Thursday. They're the quietest times to go with the lowest wait times. But as I said, Animal Kingdom is actually the most manageable park for crowds. If you're forced to go on a day that's not recommended, then it's still a good bet, relatively speaking. Okay, so that is the sort of general advice that we suggest. And we have had that information available in different articles and graphics and things on the website for a long time. But it can change depending on your dates because there are specific situations that are not covered in the general advice that I just mentioned. And that is why we built a park picker tool. So I want to take you over to show you that so that you can use it for your own trips. So we have just built a tool, a park picker tool. You can see in the margin over here, we actually have lots of different tools, a trip cost calculator, a navigator, a lightning lane calculator, dining plan, but this is the newest one. And you'll see at the top, it says free version. And that's because there are both free and paid versions. So let's walk through the free version. And we're going to start with entering basic information about a trip. So we're going to enter that we're going near Memorial Day. And are we going to visit a park on arrival day and departure day? I'm going to say no. And how many park days? I'm going to go ahead and keep it at 4, I think. And you have a choice of letting this tool decide how many parks you go to and all that, or you could choose yourself. You could say, I want to go to Epcot, 3 times, and I want to go to Magic Kingdom once or something like that. And it does have suggestions. Like for 4 days, we do recommend 1 day each park. So I'm just going to leave it at auto pick. And then we do ask if you're staying in different hotels because, for instance, if you're staying in a deluxe hotel on site, you will get extended evening theme park hours. I think I'll go ahead and click that so we can see it. Do you have a park hopper ticket? I do. And I'm not Magic Kingdom fireworks are not important to me, but if they are, it's important that you check it. Do you want it to schedule a rest day in the middle of your trip? And then you'll see here that because I selected I was staying in deluxe, it says there is an extended evening theme park hours available. Are you interested in doing it? And I'm going to click that. And then it's going to generate an itinerary. one itinerary. And you'll see here it tells me I am eligible for a free water park day on my check-in. It automatically inserts the extended hours at Magic Kingdom. Because I have a park hopper ticket, I can start the day at Epcot and then hop to Magic Kingdom that night. And there's little tips right here. This one says, smart move, lower crowds here while the deluxe guests head to Magic Kingdom for their evening hours. And it does tell me to go ahead and hop to Magic Kingdom, etc. And then it fills in all of the parks. And that's it. That's the one option, and you can, customize it to say I'm gonna hop to Magic Kingdom, etc. And then I selected it as, my itinerary. And here I can send it to myself. I can say, please email me this information. This also includes my dining reservation dates, lightning lane booking dates, etc., which is super helpful. And then it'll email to you. However, there is a paid version that gives you some more options. So let's talk about that one next. Okay. Now, before you remember, it said free at the top, and now it says WDW Prep Toolkit Pro. And that is because I am logged in as a Patreon user. We have long loved our patrons. And so we created additional functionality for people who are Patreon members. It's $5 a month, and it gives you access to more things. And this is where it gets like more handy, more personal, etc. So let's go ahead and go to the same, details that I used before, and we're going to let it generate some different options for us. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do extended evening theme park hours. And when I click generate my itineraries, it gives me two options that it suggests based on different crowds. So instead of one, now I have a couple that I can look at and kind of see what makes the most sense. Each of these is going to have like heavy crowds on Saturday because, as I discussed earlier in this video, Saturdays are often very busy, but it is warning me. So let's say that I choose option 2 here. I'm going to then be able to edit it because I'm logged in as a pro member. And what I love about being able to edit it is that I can move the parks around. So let's say that I'm like, I really wanted to start my trip at Magic Kingdom. A lot of people want to start at Magic Kingdom because they want to get that first dose of, castle vibes, and that's how we kick it off. So I moved it up here. And it is warning me that this is historically a very busy day, but if that's where I want to start my trip, I can. And now I can see how all the other parks kind of map out. And I can say, I don't really want to go to Epcot on a festival day because that's super busy. So let me switch that up so that I can at least do Animal Kingdom on a Saturday as opposed to Epcot with all those festival crowds. And now I've kind of just arranged these 4 parks in a way that makes sense for me. And then I can send that information to myself so that I can have it when it comes time to, make other plans for my trip, including dining and lightning lanes and all that kind of stuff. So that is that. And I think it's super helpful. I'm super proud of it. And I hope that you will give it a try. It is linked in the description below. I hope that information is helpful and gives you some guidance when it comes time to picking the parks for each day of your trip. I know this is something that is very confusing to people, and so we wanted to try to help the best that we can. But if you have any questions, comments, etc., please leave those below in the comments. And thanks for watching.